So yeah, the video in the background is an Israeli attacking the Israeli defense minister at the funeral of a Israeli soldier, 21 of which got killed in a attack by Hamas, combined with some friendly fire. So let me stop that right there. So yeah, so just want to make a couple of quick uh, say a couple of quick things about that. I told you so. I told you, if you go back and look at one of my videos, I said this was Welcome to Vietnam. I think the title of the video is Welcome to Vietnam 2024 or 2023 or whatever, right? I said that when this shit started, that this was going to be Vietnam. You see, this is a new Vietnam, but this Vietnam is going to lead to World War III, right? So so I was right. You're welcome, right? So welcome to Vietnam. Welcome back to Vietnam. But something much worse is going to come out of this one. You see, the Israelis are losing the war that they started. And let me make another. So now I'll make my next prediction. Since that one came true, and that you're looking at Vietnam, right? So the next steps in this is going to be my next prediction. Israel is going to disintegrate into World War III. So as World War III basically unfolds right in front of you, and they're not a couple of things. They're not going to announce, and nobody is going to come onto the news and say, "Hey, listen, welcome to World War III. I'm announcing World War III." That's not going to happen. If you're waiting for that, you're stupid, right? No one is going to pop up and be like, "Yo, we're having World War III. I just wanted to announce it." You have any questions? Like, that's not how it's going to work. You're in World War III, and that's just it, right? The you will notice the deteriorating situations. You will notice the skyrocketing shipping prices, skyrocketing oil prices, as things deteriorate in around Iran. Um, Israel will disintegrate eventually. Now, I'm not saying like tomorrow, but it may take a couple of years, maybe 2025, right? As World War III ramps up, right? As you get the fighting intensifies in Yemen, and eventually they get Iran more involved, right? One or two things are going to happen. They're either going to, U.S. and Israel is going to surrender, which I doubt very much is going to happen, right? U.S., Israel, and their NATO allies are going to surrender, and they're going to get the fuck out of the Middle East. Now that's your option one. Option two is they just continue to try to pound Gaza, Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, and Iran into submission. That is just going to accelerate, and any other countries that get involved, that's just going to accelerate World War III. You see, and so, and then from there, if they go that route, then eventually Israel, under the attacks that come into Israel by, all the different forces, um, what's going to happen is you're going to have people that are going to flee Israel, right? You're going to have refugees, the Israeli, the white Euro-Israeli refugees going to flee because that ain't their land anyway. So they're like, fuck this is over with, let me get out of here, right? So they're going to flee back to Germany and New York and Washington, D.C. and Kansas and wherever the fuck they from, right? They're going to flee and go back. Israel is going to, some of the people there, it's going to sink into civil war, right? Because of the casualties, the lack of helping hostages, things like that. So as all that expands, you're going to see this civil war in Israel. Israel is going to disintegrate, right? And it'll be besieged. It may go nuclear because the Israelis have very Nazi-like doctrines that basically they have. I think it's called the Samson doctrine, where if they can't win, then they'll just start launching nukes at everybody. So it may go nuclear at that point. And so, and if it does, then Israel and all the American apparatus in that area will be totally wiped out. There will be no more Tel Aviv, and it will be besieged. It will be besieged with missiles. missiles will pepper the whole country of Israel, and they may shoot a couple of nukes and destroy a couple of other countries around there, or parts of them, um, and then all hell gonna break loose. Of course, because there's no way that the people in America and all, what I mean, you're gonna have, millions of people from Israel and Palestine, all these places, refugees coming out of that area, right, from the missile strikes. And so you got refugees, so you got skyrocketing oil prices, skyrocketing shipping prices. People are not going to be traveling to that area, so you have a collapse in tourism and certain aspects to like Europe and places, because you're going to have, and then you're going to have refugees running every fucking where to get out of there. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. So yeah, so like I said, you're looking at now, you know, I was right about Vietnam. The next step, I'm not sure, because generally, I was talking about all these things, years before they happened. I just didn't know what was going to be the trigger. I had an idea, but I didn't know, right? So now we see the triggers are all, have all been basically, pulled on all of it. And now you can see how it's going to unfold. You can see Russia, Ukraine. The triggers there for the Russians. You can see the Russian air base in Syria. You can see the Russian troops that are in Syria. You can see, the United States warships, bombing Yemen, threatening the Iranians, right? You can see the war in on the Gazans and on, the Palestinian Arabs, right? So we see all of the board, the pieces on the game board in place now. So we don't have to guess how it's going to happen. We know how it's going to happen. We just don't know how fast it's going to accelerate to the point where it bows your ass over in America. You see, where it boils over into, America, where, you get the oil prices skyrocketing. You get the mounting casualties from the American soldiers, right? Like you're getting with the Israeli soldiers. And you're starting to see that now. The Houthis have hit ships, are starting to get better at targeting U.S. ships. You got so you got them bombing American assets, right, in Syria and Iraq. So eventually, as this intensifies, you're going to see U.S. and Israeli soldiers, dropping like flies, right? So you're going to see that, a lot of casualties coming out of the Middle East, right? And you're going to see on both sides, you're going to see large swaths of land taken out with missile strikes, right? Which are going to be more expanding, stuff like that. So the oil prices skyrocketing, the shipping prices, tourism affected, refugees, Yeah, so this is what you're looking at, right? This is what the whole the Gaza Vietnam is leading up to, right? And yeah, that's kind of how it's going to unfold at this point. I think the writing's on the wall. It's just a matter of time before it accelerates. And I don't know. Do I think they're going to flee that area and give up? No. No. I mean, my prediction is they're not going to flee. They're going to fight until they get defeated. There's no military solution for this problem. Let me say that again. There is no, my prediction is, and I don't think I'm wrong, I think I'm right, there is no military solution for this problem. I'm sorry. There is nothing but a military solution for this problem. The only option is a military solution, you see? And I'm not the only one that said that. Scott Ritter said it, and I agree, right? That until you see a strategic defeat of these forces, like the U.S. and Israelis, then there will be no meaningful compromise that satisfies anybody. And once you slaughter so many people, you know what I mean? These people are not going to want to make a deal with you at all. So at that point, there's nothing left but a military solution. So, and I think that's where we're at with this, right? There's only a military solution. That said, this thing is going to accelerate if I'm right. You see, if I'm right, it'll every week it will accelerate. So you won't have to wait to be like, oh, this is a prediction, 5 years from now, 10 years. No, you'll at 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 weeks, every, 5, hours, five, whatever, right? 5 days. This thing will continue to accelerate very, very quickly at this point. And you'll be able to tell which route it's going. I mean, so yeah, my prediction is it will be an expansion of the military option. And Israel and the U.S. will be militarily defeated in the end, probably by the end of 2025, if it drags out that long before the nukes go off, right? And here's a bonus. Bonus, I have a bonus for you. Bonus, if it accelerates, the elections are going to be a humdinger in the United States, right? Get ready for that, right? Look at what's going on between Texas and the federal government. So I'll give you a bonus, right? It's a 2-for-1. You're not only going to be dealing with World War III, you're going to be dealing with Civil War, right? An expanding civil war inside the United States, just like there's an expanding civil war in Israel about to take place, right? And so you'll see that. Here's the bonus. You'll see that accelerate probably around the end of the summer. So I'll say August, September, October. The elections are in November. So expect that to accelerate around August, September, October, November, right? Expect by then the whole, civil war, and we can see what is coming into view. What's bringing that into view is what? Well, that would be you can see the dispute on the border. See, they're starting to realize, certain people are starting to realize that this open border thing has to do with a bigger plan, you see, by different factions, right? And so people are going to push back on that. Texas has already said, go fuck yourself. So once you get Arizona, Texas, a couple other countries, Florida, they already told them, go fuck yourself, right? So what are you still doing here? I thought I told you get out of here and go fuck yourself. Why are you still here? Right? They already told them, right? And they're not backing down. So as more states sign on, bonus, right, the Civil War is going to pick up. You see, it's going to heat up. So you're headed into conflict either way, right? You're headed into conflict locally and then globally. So, but on that, that's all I got.